everyone, my name is Miss Kendall and welcome back to Crafting with Kendall. Today's craft we are going to be painting with bubbles. Yes, you can actually paint with bubbles. It'll look something like this, very colorful, and it almost looks like the bubbles are kind of 3D. So to paint with bubbles, first you are going to need, of course, soap. This is how we're going to get our really awesome bubbles. You're also going to need some sort of paint. I'm using just blue little fingerprint paint. You'll also need a bowl of water, newspaper in case this gets messy. You're going to need some straws, something to stir with like a spoon or a fork, and of course you'll need paper. You'll also need an adult with you just in case if you need some help. So the first thing we do is of course lay down our newspaper, or any kind of paper that you can then throw away or recycle, just in case if things get messy. You're going to take your bowl of water, and then you'll need dish soap. It has to be like the liquidy kind, like Dawn or anything. You're going to put that right in the water. You're going to use a decent amount. There's no exact measurements, just kind of put it in the water. Then you're going to take your paint. Now, if you try this with food coloring, it does work, but the bubbles, when they dry, aren't very bright. So that's why I like to use paint instead. Oops. Help if the seal was off of it. Let's get that off of there really quickly here. All right. And again, there's no exact measurements for how much paint to use. You just kind of want to pour it in there. The more paint you use, the darker your bubbles are going to look when they dry. So once you get the paint and the soap into your water, you're going to take your spoon and just gently mix it. There we go. You want to make sure there's no clumps of paint in the water. Just going to keep mixing it. Okay. Now is the fun part. We're going to take our straw and we're going to make bubbles. So you're going to want to blow them till about like right here. And then you're going to take your paper and you're just going to gently lay it on there. You don't want to press the paper down. You don't want to push it down. You just kind of want to let it naturally pop the bubbles on its own. So once it does that, sometimes this will happen. That usually means that we don't have enough soap or paint in it. So let's add some more. I'm going to add a little bit more paint. And a little bit more soap. Sometimes that happens, and it's okay. You just add a little bit more of your ingredients. And of course, we're going to stir it around just to make sure all of that paint and soap mix together. Oops, there we go. And make our bubbles again. And then take your paper, and again, just let it pop the bubbles on its own. That turned out a little bit better, and you can keep going back and forth with mixing and blowing your bubbles and stuff. There we go. There we go. So if you keep going back and forth with blowing your bubbles and letting the paper pop all of the bubbles on its own, it'll turn out something like this. And you can use different colors. You can even use different kinds of paint, different colors of paint, and you can even try different kinds of soap to see what kind of creation you can make with the bubbles. So that is it for today's craft. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!